Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es Julio Fopoli and I want you to speak Spanish like a pro. If you remember my last video, one of the things I said was that I saw this series, Extra in Spanish, a series I had seen a long time ago. This series has been around for over 20 years. And I decided, well, why don't we do something about it? Why? Well, because the series is very interesting. I highly recommend it from the point of view of the story. I mean, and points for discussion in class, or if you have the option of doing that with someone. The main problem I see, the main objection I have to that is that the way people talk is really unnatural. How so? Well, the main thing is that you see that whenever they speak, as I showed you in my last video, was that really people make unnecessary pauses in between words, and every word is pronounced perfectly. That would be great if native speakers spoke like that, um, but actually we don't. So I was trying to come up with ideas. Okay, what can we do about that? And one thing that came to mind, well, why don't we replace the original audio with just real language? So kind of like we have like the main story, which I tell you, the story is great. You will love it if you're at the beginning stage, beginning to pre-intermediate. It's a really good story. But why don't we use real language instead, like the way native speakers talk in real life? Now, I got a comment from one of the visitors to the page, and it was a very valid comment. I mean, he said, well, why don't you just speed it up and save all the trouble, right? And that would be great. The problem with that is that, when someone speaks slowly and they try to pronounce every word perfectly, that deems the language unnatural. So even if you speed it up, what happens is that every single word is clearly defined. Just doing it faster won't change that fact. Okay, it will be a little bit more challenging because you're listening to faster speech that could be even similar to the one used by native speakers in real life. But the problem is that in real life, kind of like the words, sometimes you don't hear the last sound of the letter. For example, in many cases, there is a phrase we say that we eat the S's at the end. We don't pronounce the S's correctly. That's called aspiration, technically. And sometimes we blend the words. The words really, in real speech, in connected speech, they connect. Okay, they are one link to the other. The last sound of one word connects to the beginning sound of the next word. And in addition to that, in many cases, we have blends. For example, tengo que ir al banco. Tengo que ir al banco. Right? So if I say it slowly, that's great. If I speed that up, it would be exactly the same clarity, just faster. But in real life, most people wouldn't say it like that. We wouldn't say tengo que ir al banco. It will sound more like tengo que ir al banco. Que ir. Tengo que ir. Que ir will blend into kir, right? I created a series on that. Um, that we could see this at some other time. I have some of that on my website, SpanishLikeAPro.com. But the main thing is that in real speech, I mean, we have these blends that actually have nothing to do necessarily with speed. Speed is important, but it's also blends that happen in real conversation. So even if we could match the unnatural language speed with the real language speed, and basically both are the same, there are some other things going on here. Well, so that's the reason, basically, why I decided to do this. We'll do a couple of parts. I mean, I will start with episode one. As you can see, I'll break it down in many parts. I mean, kind of like to get the most out of each segment in terms of vocabulary and comprehension. And well, and if I see that this is something that you guys like, I'm going to continue creating some more, or else it will be just a nice experience. All right, at least to have some of these and see that there are other ways to learn and to improve listening comprehension. Well, having said all this, let's move on to the activities now. We're going to watch just the very beginning of the video, a minute or so, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay, let's get right onto it.
Esta es la historia de Lola y Ana, que comparten un piso en España. Tienen un vecino, Pablo. A Pablo le gusta Lola. Y a Ana le gusta Pablo. Y así están las cosas hasta que Lola recibe una carta de América.
Juan, te lo dije anoche. Se acabó. Perdona. Y no me llames Lolita. Sí, Juan, sí. También recibí el cojín. Pero se acabó. Lo siento. No llores. Adiós. Ay, hombres.
El correo, Lola.
Hola, Ana.
Venga, Luis.
As this is for beginning students, probably you couldn't understand all of what was going on. So we're going to do comprehension exercises that will take you from maybe understanding little or nothing to actually getting a very good idea of the whole thing. Well, in this first activity, this is just for a general idea. The visual plays a big element here, a big part. So even without understanding the audio very well, you could be able to, because of the visual aspect of it, you could be able to do this activity. Okay, don't worry if you couldn't understand much. The idea is to go from maybe understanding little or nothing to understanding a lot. Okay, now in this first exercise, the goal is to actually try to put these images in the right sequence. You can see here that these are stills from the actual video, and you have to put them in the right sequence. If you don't remember, don't worry. We can watch it again. Before we do anything, let's try to understand what the email says. Notice the way this email looks. This gives you an idea of the time when this was published. It's not recent. This story is from the early 2000s. But the content is great, as I said. So here it says, Juan, te lo dije anoche. Te lo dije. I told you. Dije is the past of decir. I told you anoche, last night. I told you last night. Se acabó. Se acabó. It's over. Perdona. I'm sorry. See? Y no me llames. And then it said Lolita. It was just when it was appearing this message. Y no me llames Lolita, and don't call me Lolita, a name she uses, right? So that's the meaning of this. The goal here is actually to put the images in the right sequence in which they appeared. Let's actually watch the video again.
Esta es la historia de Lola y Ana, que comparten un piso en España. Tienen un vecino, Pablo. A Pablo le gusta Lola. Y a Ana le gusta Pablo. Y así están las cosas hasta que Lola recibe una carta de América.
Juan, te lo dije anoche. Se acabó. Perdona. Y no me llames Lolita. Sí, Juan, sí. También recibí el cojín. Pero se acabó. Lo siento. No llores. Adiós. Ay, hombres.
El correo, Lola.
Hola, Ana.
Venga, Luis.
All right, so now what's the right sequence here? Are you ready? The first one is B. La primera es B. La segunda, the second, es D. La tercera, the third, la tercera, es C. Y la cuarta es A. Then you can watch the video again if you want, if you don't remember, and you can confirm this. Ejercicio 2. En este ejercicio tenemos que decir si esta información es verdadera, falsa o no mencionada. We have to say if this information is true, false, or not mentioned. If you don't remember right now, that's fine. We can watch the video. We will watch the video again. Lola, Ana y Pablo viven en España. Ana y Pablo viven juntos. Nice word to know. Juntos, together. They live together. A Lola le gusta Pablo. So Lola likes Pablo. Lola recibió una carta de los Estados Unidos. Carta, a letter. Lola recibió una carta de los Estados Unidos. Y número 5, Juan está muy triste. Triste. Sad. Juan is very sad. So, if you are able to answer right now, if you think you know the answers, write them down. But if you don't know the answers, we're going to watch the video again. If you need to watch the video instead of just once more, 2, 3 more times, just do that and see if you can get this information. Let's do that now.
Esta es la historia de Lola y Ana, que comparten un piso en España. Tienen un vecino, Pablo. A Pablo le gusta Lola. Y a Ana le gusta Pablo. Y así están las cosas hasta que Lola recibe una carta de América.
Juan, te lo dije anoche. Se acabó. Perdona. Y no me llames Lolita. Sí, Juan, sí. También recibí el cojín. Pero se acabó. Lo siento. No llores. Adiós. Ay, hombres.
El correo, Lola.
Hola, Ana.
Venga, Luis.
Bueno, hora de chequear nuestras respuestas. Time to check our answers. Número 1. Lola, Ana y Pablo viven en España. Esto es verdadero, true. Número 2. Ana y Pablo viven juntos. Esto es falso. Número 3. A Lola le gusta Pablo. Esto es falso o no mencionado. Número 4. Lola recibió una carta de los Estados Unidos. Esto es verdadero. Número 5. Juan está muy triste. Esto es verdadero. If you are not sure about the reasons why, I don't want to just give any information away yet, but later when we go over the text and all that, we'll have a good idea of this. You'll understand why this is true, why this is false, but I don't want to give it away yet, okay? You need to work for that comprehension. Bueno, so this was a slightly deeper layer of comprehension than the first part in which we just could rely heavily on the visuals only. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper into our comprehension. Now it's not just recognizing, okay, this is true, this is false. Now we want to listen and answer some questions. We have to provide more information. Okay, so let's go over the questions here. Número 1. ¿Dónde viven Lola y Ana? Número 2. ¿Quién es Pablo? Número 3. ¿En quién está interesado Pablo? Notice this construction that we use in Spanish. ¿En quién? Notice that in English, you say, who is Pablo interested in? This in comes at the end. I know they say that it's bad grammar and all that. Everyone uses it like that, right? So, who is Pablo interested in? English tends to do that, tends to separate the preposition with a question word. What are you here for? Right? Who is she with? So you have who and with. What are you here for? What and for at extremes. In Spanish, what we do is we take the preposition and we put it before the question word. That's why we say, ¿en quién? In who está interesado Pablo? If I say, who is she with? Well, ¿con quién está ella? With who is she? That's the way it works in Spanish. Just a little thing in case you didn't know. Número 4. ¿Qué siente Ana por Pablo? ¿Qué siente Ana por Pablo? What does she feel? How does she feel about him? ¿Sí? Número 5. ¿De dónde era la carta que recibió Lola? Notice again, ¿de dónde? From where? So kind of like here, where was the letter Lola received from? See, from where was the letter Lola received? That's the way we word it in Spanish. Número 6. ¿Por qué estaba triste Juan? Entonces, if you can think of the answers, if you think you have the answers, well, try to write them down or try to have them clear in your mind. We're going to watch the video one more time, again, or 2 or 3 or 5. I mean, do that. Feel free to rewind or to go back and watch it as many times as you need. And then we're going to be checking our answers. Let's do that now.
Esta es la historia de Lola y Ana, que comparten un piso en España. Tienen un vecino, Pablo. A Pablo le gusta Lola. Y a Ana le gusta Pablo. Y así están las cosas hasta que Lola recibe una carta de América.
Juan, te lo dije anoche. Se acabó. Perdona. Y no me llames Lolita. Sí, Juan, sí. También recibí el cojín. Pero se acabó. Lo siento. No llores. Adiós. Ay, hombres.
El correo, Lola.
Hola, Ana.
Venga, Luis.
Momento de chequear nuestras respuestas. Time to check our answers. ¿Dónde viven Lola y Ana? Bueno, Lola y Ana viven en un piso en España. Piso significa, es como apartamento. Piso means like apartment. They live in an apartment in Spain, en España. Pregunta número 2. ¿Quién es Pablo? Bueno, Pablo es su vecino. This word, vecino, neighbor. Good word to know. Número 3. ¿En quién está interesado Pablo? Pablo está interesado en Lola. Número 5. No, perdón, número 4. ¿Qué siente Ana por Pablo? Bueno, a Ana le gusta Pablo. A Ana le gusta Pablo. Notice that, for example, in real speech, we would say it sounds like Ana. A Ana le gusta Pablo. A Ana le gusta Pablo. We usually don't say a Ana. We say Ana le gusta Pablo. Because as it's the same sound, they blend together. Well, lots of these things will appear in these conversations when we do this kind of work. Okay, so just watch out for that. Número 5. ¿De dónde era la carta que escribió Lola? La carta que escribió Lola era de América. Now I have a comment here. In the original video, they say America all the time. America, America, America. The right word is Estados Unidos. Let me write it here. Estados Unidos. So to say United States or America, we say Estados Unidos if we mean the US. Because America, it's really like when we think of America, it's the Americas, I mean the whole continent. North America, Central America, South America, right? Also, when we say that someone is Americano, which informally people say Americano meaning from the US, but if we want to be correct about this, the correct term is estadounidense. Let's write it here. Estadounidense. In lowercase, we don't capitalize nationalities. So if someone is American, we would say es estadounidense. We wouldn't say americano. See? Now, some people say it informally, especially in the US, that's very common. But in reality, americano could be anyone from the Americas, North, Central, South America. So, well, something to have in mind. Okay? Entonces, ¿de dónde era la carta que recibió Lola? ¿Era de América o era de Estados Unidos? ¿Y por qué estaba triste Juan? Bueno, Juan estaba triste porque su relación con Lola se acabó. His relationship with Lola had ended. Okay, they broke up. She broke up with him. Okay. Now, in this activity, we have to find the differences between this transcript that we have here and what the actors actually say. So let's go through this. Esta es la historia de Lola y Ana, que tienen un piso en España. Tienen un amigo, Pablo. So this is the story of Lola and Ana, who have an apartment in Spain. Tienen un amigo, Pablo. They have a friend, Pablo. A Pablo le gusta Lola. Y a Ana le gusta Pablo. Pablo likes Lola. And Ana likes Pablo. Y así están las cosas. Y así están las cosas. And that's the way things are. Así is like this, like that. And this is the way things are. This is a good phrase. Así están las cosas cuando Lola recibe una carta de América. So that's the situation. Así están las cosas when Lola receives a letter from America. Again, I say Estados Unidos. Juan, te lo dije anoche. Se acabó. Juan, I told you last night. Se acabó. It's over. Perdona. Y no me llames Lolita. Sorry. And don't call me Lolita. Sí, Juan, sí. También recibí el cojín. Yes, Juan. Yes. I also received the cushion. Pero se terminó. But it's over. Lo lamento. I'm sorry. No llores. Don't cry. Adiós. Ay, hombres. Man, oh, man. Viene Ana y dice, hemos regresado, Lola. We have come back, Lola. Hola, Ana. Venga, Luis. Venga. Come on in. See, come on in, Luis. So this is the text. Now we're going to watch the video. You may need to go back and forth a few times. This may take some time. If you have time, do it. Okay. and see if you can identify the differences between this transcript and what the actors are actually saying. Let's do that now.
Esta es la historia de Lola y Ana, que comparten un piso en España. Tienen un vecino, Pablo. A Pablo le gusta Lola. Y a Ana le gusta Pablo. Y así están las cosas hasta que Lola recibe una carta de América.
Juan, te lo dije anoche. Se acabó. Perdona. Y no me llames Lolita. Sí, Juan, sí. También recibí el cojín. Pero se acabó. Lo siento. No llores. Adiós. Ay, hombres.
El correo, Lola.
Hola, Ana.
Venga, Luis.
Esta es la historia de Lola y Ana, que comparten un piso en España. Tienen un vecino, Pablo. A Pablo le gusta Lola. Y a Ana le gusta Pablo. Y así están las cosas hasta que Lola recibe una carta de América.
Juan, te lo dije anoche. Se acabó. Perdona. Y no me llames Lolita. Sí, Juan, sí. También recibí el cojín. Pero se acabó. Lo siento. No llores. Adiós. Ay, hombres.
El correo, Lola.
Hola, Ana.
Venga, Luis.
Time to check our answers. So the transcript I had provided said this. Esta es la historia de Lola y Ana que tienen un piso en España. Now what the actors actually say is, esta es la historia de Lola y Ana que comparten un piso en España. Comparten. It doesn't say tienen, it says comparten. They share. Tienen un amigo Pablo, a Pablo le gusta Lola y a Ana le gusta Pablo. Qué let's see that. Tienen un vecino, Pablo. Vecino, they have a neighbor called Pablo, not amigo. Maybe he's a friend, but it's not what the audio says. Then the rest is the same. Y así están las cosas cuando Lola recibe una carta de América. Y así están las cosas hasta que Lola recibe una carta de América. Te lo dije anoche, se acabó. Perdona, y no me llames Lolita. This seems to be the same. Juan, te lo dije anoche, se acabó. Perdona, y no me llames Lolita. Muy bien. Sí, Juan, sí. También recibí el cojín. Pero se terminó. Lo lamento. No llores. Adiós. Bueno, acá vemos. Sí, Juan, sí. También recibí el cojín. Pero no se terminó. Which could be possible, language-wise. But well, what they say is, or what she says is, se acabó. se acabó. Y en lugar de lo lamento, instead of lo lamento, she says, lo siento. Lo siento. No llores. Adiós. Después dice, hay hombres. Hemos regresado, Lola. Hola, Ana. Bueno. Dice, hay hombres. El correo. Nada que ver. Totally different there. El correo. The mail, Lola. Hola, Ana. Venga, Luis. The rest is the same. All right, my friends, this is all for today. In my next video, I'm going to actually focus on the vocabulary of this. I'm going to break down some of the phrases and actually expand a little bit on the vocabulary. While simple, there's lots of good conversational vocabulary for beginners, and we're going to address that. But I'd rather have a specific video, or else this one will take forever, which probably it's already too long. If you really enjoyed this video, if you found it useful in any way, I would really encourage you to please like the video, subscribe to the channel. That helps a lot. It tells me that this is something you like and you want me to create some more of that. Of course, your comments are, I see each and every comment that you post. I mean, I'd love to hear what you think about this type of material. And if you want more materials like this, or I have tons of different other materials, visit my website, www.spanishlikeapro.com, or you can also see my Patreon channel, patreon.com/SpanishLikeAPro. Espero que tengan un lindo día, una linda semana y nos vemos pronto. Hasta pronto. Chao, chao.